looking for Wembanyama on the cut.
See, look.
They cut off so
See, look. Chris Paul would have passed it out to him. But Chris Paul not selfish. We know Chris Paul is not selfish. You know Chris Paul finna average like 50 assists a game. Real talk. We all know Chris Paul is finna average 50 assists a game, bruh. Real talk. Like, come on now. Like, don't bite.
misses.
Now, Brandon missed him too.
I don't know how you miss a 7-4 guy.
Yeah, how do you exactly
I just
not
don't
see him in your
understand
field
that.
of
Well, if there were problems last year with Wemby not receiving the ball, then the Spurs just made the absolute best move possible.
More breaking news, Chris Paul is speedwalking to the Riverwalk, who was cut earlier tonight.
Yup.
The Warriors intends to sign a one-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs.
Now, Chris Paul is 39 years old. 39, which in pro athlete terms is like 105 years old, but I don't
Chris Paul is old, but they just got that new they got the number 4 pick. He could teach him some ropes, you know. Van Nessel and Trey Jones. They need to bounce Sohan up out of there. Teach them how to pass the ball. The Wemby. Because he's that man on the team. Teach him how to pass the ball. Chris Paul could teach them how to pass the ball. Well, I'll let Chris Paul start. He could start on the Spurs. They trash. But he really there to pass the ball to Wemby and teach the young guys how to pass the ball to Wemby, you know? Yeah.
the Spurs have to wheel him onto the court. He is still great at one thing, and that is dropping dimes.
Draymond Green running the floor. Perfect pass from Chris Paul.
Look at that.
from Chris Paul to Kuminga.
So when you pair one of the greatest passers in NBA history with soon to be one of the greatest players and lob threats in NBA history, it doesn't matter how old he is,
Bruh, it's gonna be Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, motherfucking Megatron, Tom Brady, Megatron, Patrick Mahomes, it's DeAndre Hopkins out there on that court, because all you finna see is who can't stop Wemby? Ain't nobody in the NBA taller than him to stop Wemby. Zach Edey can't stop Wemby. They probably the same height. He can't stop Wemby. Chet can't mess with a picture of Wemby. Like, I see them winning 30 games this year. 30 games for sure.
something good is going to come of it. And I can guarantee you, we will not be seeing nearly as many clips of Wemby not receiving the ball from his teammates.
If you had like a peer point, say you had like a CP, like those guys that just know basketball and know that, Wemby, go right there. I'm gonna throw this shit as high as I can. Go catch and dunk it.
And just for anyone thinking Chris Paul is completely washed, because it would be easy to have that opinion, last year for the Warriors, he averaged 9 points and 7 assists. Not crazy numbers, but the key detail from this stat line is 1.3 turnovers. And over the last 3 years, CP3 has averaged just shy of 9 assists to less than 2 turnovers per game. Just to put this into perspective, in that time, he's one of 9 players to average 7.5 assists or more, and he is by far the least turnover prone of any of those top playmakers. He's now joining a team who had the 4th most turnovers in the NBA last season. And look, I showed you the clips of Wemby being in position to score and not getting the ball, which happened far too often last year, but I don't believe it was because guys like Jeremy Sohan despise him. The real reason was because they had no one with point guard experience outside of Trey Jones on the roster, and the numbers showed there was such a clear discrepancy when they actually put a point guard next to Wemby, because in 1300 minutes with Trey and Vic on the floor, they had a +5 net rating, which is a
This can't be right, because Trey Jones should have been averaging 10 assists a game. Let me look up how many assists Trey Jones averaged it. Because ain't no way. He averaged 6. Okay. He averaged more last year. Get this out. He averaged more assists last year. But with Wemby, he averaged under just a little bit less.